Can Kyrie Irving carry the load for the Dallas Mavericks without Luka Doncic, as it's a rematch of the Western Conference semifinals with the Oklahoma City Thunder? We preview the game tonight, coming up here on the DLS Mavs pregame show. Hey, what's up, DLS Mavs Nation? It's your man, Kevin Gray, alongside Mavericks beat writer Tim Cato, Mavericks analyst Bobby Carella. We are DLS Mavs, your favorite guys covering your favorite team every single game night. At Kevin Gray Sports, at Tim_Cato, at Bobby Carella, where you can find us on X. And you can also dial up the Stein line for our national NBA insider, Mark Stein, at the Stein line. He'll be joining us in our post-game show after tonight's matchup between your Dallas Mavericks and the Oklahoma City Thunder, a rematch, of course, of the Western Conference semifinals from a year ago, where the Mavericks took out OKC in 6 games to advance to the Western Conference Finals, and, of course, eventually moving on to the NBA Finals. A Mavericks team that will be without Luka Doncic tonight. It means Kyrie Irving will have to carry the load for a team that got off the schneid last night, ending their 4-game losing streak, beating the San Antonio Spurs, now on the second night of a home road back-to-back. Take on Gilgeous-Alexander and the Oklahoma City Thunder, as I bring in my guys, Tim Cato and Bobby Carella, on this glorious Sunday evening, especially if you're a Dallas Wings fan. Gentlemen, what's going on?
First off, Ben, it's a road game. They're in Oklahoma City. I'm not there. Second off, is Paige available tonight without Luka?
Oh,
just step right into the rotation.
Mavs could do some points.
I strongly agree with this. I don't see why not.
No, Paige is out there making history for UConn still, so you're going to have to wait a little while until, next summer before Paige makes her descent upon Dallas. So she's got to help Gino Auriemma win some more games and set the Division I, wins record. So once that's done, then Paige will be.
Why is the lottery so early?
That's a great question, because it is mid-November, and the lottery did just happen tonight, as the Dallas Wings did win the draft lottery and will be awarded the #1 draft pick coming up later on next spring, when the draft does occur. So excited about that.
And I've heard through the grapevine. So obviously, if you followed what we're doing here at DLS Sports, we cover the Cowboys, we cover the Mavs, we cover the Rangers, we cover the Stars. We're going to be covering the Wings.
That's right, damn it. Covering the Dallas Wings.
It's a big night for Wings basketball. And don't you worry, in the springtime, we'll be all over the Paige Beckers, Arike-led Dallas Wings. And will Arike be on the... We'll see.
And Satu.
Hopefully Satu's back as well.
Free agent? Who knows?
Yeah, she's a free agent. Hopefully she's back.
But it's an exciting it's an exciting time to be a Wings fan. And at this juncture, as a team in this league, they have a lot of decisions to make, and we will be covering them.
Well, it made a lot more sense for Satu to leave because this team didn't have a lot of talent, right? Does Paige change the equation?
Oh, maybe.
Do we know? Like, I am not up to date as I have been in the past about the Wings. Like, a lot of her wanting to leave was just that this team was toiling, middling, not going anywhere, right?
It's because they just sign a bunch of bigs. They play her at the 3.
No,
She's a 4. She's a 5.
She absolutely is a 4.
Space the floor. Let's run some modern offense. Let's go.
I mean,
like
like
the
prototype position in the WNBA that wins you titles, it's the scoring 4.
Let's go.
It's different than the NBA.
Let's go.
The NBA is much more oriented around the small forward position. Historically, it's the 4, that really stands out in the WNBA. That has been the winning recipe.
See Asia Wilson with the Las Vegas Aces.
See Asia, see
Brianna Stewart.
Brianna.
Whichever one wants to play the 4, both of them. Who cares?
That's great.
Exactly. So
the question will be, who is going to help carry the load with Kyrie Irving tonight for the Dallas Mavericks? I'm sure if you haven't heard, you've been living under a rock. If you haven't, Luka Doncic is out tonight for the Dallas Mavericks. He's got a right knee contusion, and he will not be available.
I'm sure there's somebody listening who didn't see that. I mean, it only broke this afternoon.
I didn't know until I got here.
And
also, what if that rock is really comfortable to live under? What if there's just a single family dwelling residence underneath that rock?
That's a hell of a comfortable rock.
Yeah,
Tim, go to the arena.
Let's just not. I just don't know we're looking down on people who live under rocks.
Well, guess what? You can come watch us.
That's somebody's home.
And get the news.
And you're mocking it.
This is the kind of night we're going to have because of what the circumstances
do
are
a watch along
for the Dallas Mavericks. Hell no, not on this particular night. Unfortunately, the Mavericks are taking on a Oklahoma City Thunder team that is 11-2, 7-1 at home this year. By the way, gentlemen, the Oklahoma City Thunder finishing up a 6-game homestand tonight with the Dallas Mavericks. They are currently 4-1 on said homestand. Their lone loss to the Golden State Warriors, which came 127-116 back on November the 10th. Of course, the Mavericks on the second night of a home road back-to-back, beating the Spurs last night in their 4-game losing streak. Now take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Dallas, of course, improving to 6-7 with their win over the Victor Wembanyama-less San Antonio Spurs last night. That gets us to our scouting report on the evening from our guy Bobby Karalla on what we'll need to look for as the Mavericks take on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, so with the Mavs missing Luka tonight, they're going to be looking for offense. How do you replace his production, his shooting, his playmaking, all of that stuff? The Thunder are make no mistake, they're going to be playing small. Their rim protectors are out, whatever. They are a defense-first team even without those guys. Now, I mentioned a lot of this on the postgame last night, so if you were, staying up with us until the wee hours of the morning on Saturday night, this might be redundant to you, but the Thunder lead the league in defensive rating this year. Okay, they allow 100.8 points per 100 possessions. The Mavs, despite some downer performances against the Warriors and the Suns and the Nuggets and the Pacers and some other teams along the way, the Jazz, the Mavs are the number 6 ranked defense in the league at 110.2 allowed per 100 possessions.
They're one of 5 teams currently in the NBA who is a top 10 ranked offense and defense.
And they're losing.
And they have a losing record, which is just
right.
It's kind of hilarious. It's kind of a lot of other things.
So there's 9.4 points between the Mavs at number 6 and the Thunder at number 1. The Mavs are closer to the 30th place Washington Wizards, who allow 118.4 points per 100 possessions, than they are to the number 1 Thunder. That's how good OKC is on defense. And one more defensive stat about the Thunder, and this usually during the scouting report segment, I talk about like one guy, right? Or 2 guys. No, the Thunder defend as a team, okay? They force turnovers on 19.7% of opponents' possessions. So nearly 1 out of every 5 trips down the floor, the opponent turns the ball over. Now, we're talking about the Mavs, who are a very, very low turnover team. However, lately, they've been giving it away a little bit. And without Luka, presumably you're going to be doing a little more ball, sharing the ball. You're going to be doing a little more passing, a little more cutting,
add something here?
Which could be dangerous.
There was actually a game last season where Dallas played Oklahoma City without Luka.
That's right.
And that was a game they had, off the top of my head, either 19 or 21 turnovers.
I don't like that number.
It was a game. I remember the talking points after that game for me on whatever platform that I was talking. I can't remember, writing, podcasting, probably podcasting at a previous unnamed location. Actually, the same podcast feed, believe it or not. But I remember... This is this is not, Dallas under Luka is not a turnover prone team, but they turned it over. So it was a really tight game that came down to the last possession.
Last few minutes.
It's starting to come back.
Yeah.
And the thing that really swung that is that they did not reduce their turnovers without Luka out there. So that's a priority tonight.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. You're going to turn the ball over some just because that's who Oklahoma City is. And without Luka, obviously a lot of the safety blanket, a lot of the way that he, can just just stifle, opposing ball handler pressure is not going to be there. But that's you got to find a way. If they can keep it to 14 or 15, I feel way better about their chances than anything more than that.
Yeah, I mean, turnovers are possession of the ball, right? And conceptually speaking, you look at the Thunder roster without Chet, without Isaiah Hartenstein, without Jalen Williams, big Jalen Williams, not wing Jalen Williams.
Big Jalen Williams is out.
This
We're gonna get to that.
Yeah,
And without Alex Caruso as well.
Yeah.
I forgot we have an injury report. I'm not usually on for both.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Without their 3 best bigs, without really their 3 only bigs, you feel like Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, Maxey, PJ, Dwight, if he gets in there somehow, have a lot of chances to get some second chance points, or at least second chance opportunities. So your best defense in this case should be your offense. get shots up. If you miss, let tall guy rebound, but don't turn it over, right? Protect your defense, take care of the ball. If you have to take some BS shot, hey, get in position to get a rebound.
Yeah.
Fight for possession of the ball. Possession of the ball matters so much in this game.
And for the Mavericks themselves, getting 53 rebounds last night against the San Antonio Spurs, Derek Lively II and Daniel Gafford need to be big in the middle to be able to not only end possessions with defensive boards, but really keep things alive on the offensive end as well. The game that Tim was alluding to took place last year on March 14th, where Kyrie Irving, without Luka in the lineup, had 36 points and 12 assists that night. The Mavericks had a chance to win that game. They were only down 3 with 8 minutes left in that fourth quarter before Oklahoma City ultimately pulled away in that game, winning 126-119. Daniel Gafford had a big night that night with 19 points and 15 rebounds in that game. He will loom large in this game. These numbers I'm about to rattle off for Bobby will not make him happy, but it is what it is. As he mentioned,
you can't hurt me.
The Thunder are number 1 in defensive rating at 100.8. They are also number 1 in overall rating at a plus 12.7.
Oh my God.
They're also number 6 in pace as well, so this game could get up and down. We talk about the small lineup that the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to have. They'll look to push pace as well in this game. They also are number 1 in the NBA in fewest turnovers per game at just under 12 turnovers per contest. Number 1 in steals per game, averaging over 12 steals per contest. And they're also number 1 in blocks per game as well at just over 7, which means, Bobby, they are number 1 overall in plus minus at a plus 12.9 so far this year. Needless to say, this is a devastatingly good Oklahoma City Thunder team led by MVP candidate Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, averaging nearly 28 points per game, over 6 assists, and nearly 2 steals per contest. His running mate Jalen Williams, that's Jalen Williams, averaging over 20 points per game and nearly 7 boards per contest and 2 steals. Lou Dort is one of their best defensive players, averaging over 12 points per game so far this year. But of course, this is a rematch of the Western Conference semifinals. Mavericks took them out, the Oklahoma City Thunder, that is, in 6 games last year. The series that PJ Washington was able to have, knocking down shots as well. He will be looming large in this game as he, of course, made his return after missing the last several games with a knee injury, continues to be limited in his minutes, but is back on the floor. How much will PJ Washington have effect in tonight's game?
Wait, since we have 2 minutes, we still don't have a starting lineup. Do we want to make any guesses at what it's going to be?
Grimes for Luka.
Grimes is definitely going to be in the starting lineup.
You think it's just going to be Grimes and PJ, depending on health? Might still be Maxey just because of health.
Yeah.
We don't think any other switch ups or anything else weird?
No.
Okay.
It sounds like Kid during
I keep looking at my phone. It should be out by now.
Well, Kid said during pregame that Grimes is going to be starting.
Okay.
Derek Lively appears is going to be starting again as well.
PJ's in.
Okay, so that means Grimes. We'll have Luka, Kyrie, Quentin Grimes, PJ Washington, Derek Lively, and Quentin Grimes.
Yeah, I don't know that PJ will. I mean, maybe he will be a factor, but looking back to like PJ's huge series in the playoffs against the Thunder, they were doubling Kyrie all game, and they were single guarding Luka. The double from Kyrie and the extra guy in the lane and the extra just like kind of tilting the floor toward Kyrie and the ball handlers, they did sag off PJ. Different personnel. The Thunder always had a big on the floor. They always had Chet around the rim, so you can they were a little more kind of gambly. But playing small, I think they might just switch everything and say, look, Kyrie, if you want to go for 70, go for 70. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they just stay home on everybody. Now, with the Thunder going small, that means Gafford, that means Lively maybe, and also means PJ. All 3 decent back to the basket players, decent touch around the rim. See what you can do. But
whoa.
Be really effing careful trying to dribble the ball. PJ, sloppy handle. Gafford, Lively, sloppy handle. You cannot take chances. Those guys will rip it right out of your hands.
Yeah, this is a team that loves to get their hands on the basketball, a team that can get a lot of deflections and really cause disruption on your offense. Kyrie Irving is going to have to carry the load tonight for this team. Kyrie so far this year averaging nearly 25 points per game while shooting 55% from the field and over 52% from the three-point line. He will be the main man offensively for Dallas tonight as they take on a talented Oklahoma City Thunder team. More on who's in, who's out, and X factors for tonight's game as we get you ready for the Mavericks taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. But Bob, you got to become a diehard member first here at DLS Sports.
Yeah, shout out to nearly 100 of you hanging out with us pregame. Tip-off's going to be coming your way pretty soon, but appreciate you spending your time with us on a kind of muggy Sunday afternoon. But hey,
it should be colder.
It should be. Hopefully the action on the court heats it up or it cools it off. Maybe if you're a Mavs fan, hoping the Thunder suck. But either way,
You tried on that
we're
one.
bringing you pre- and post-game coverage for every Mavs game all season right here on this channel. And all that stuff is free, covering every team in town. Like we said, covering the page-led wings here pretty soon, hopefully. But if you want to take your support for our channel one step further than just subbing and liking and commenting on the streams, you can go to alldls.com/diehard or click the link in the description below or scan that QR code right there, and it will take you to a website where we will ask you
actually
for...
did that pretty well.
He did.
I had some practice last night.
Nice.
Where we'll ask you for less than $7 a month, and in exchange, you will gain access to all the premium written content on our website from people like Tim and others. You will gain access to the DLLS Diehard Discord Lounge. You will get a free shirt when you sign up and a discount on any other shirts you want to buy. Discount on future live events. So we got some of those coming down the pipeline, and you get early access to those events.
In the Discord tonight, I'm just going to transcribe things that Bobby says out loud.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. That should
I'm
be
just
fun.
I'm gonna type them up.
Oh
and
my God.
Put quotes around.
That
Just
should be fun.
do that, but hey, if you're a diehard, promise me no screenshots. That's all.
They stay. What goes
That's
in the
all.
Discord stays in the Discord.
Yes.
Wait, do I have
Just
time?
keep it all there.
So I was sitting in my media seat last night at the game, and like halfway through the fourth quarter, this kid who's like in the suite level starts, "Hey dude, hey dude, hey dude, hey dude, hey dude," and then finally, like when
You're
we look
welcome,
up at a break, I look up and I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Can you follow me on Discord? Can you follow me on Discord?"
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't really use Discord like that. I didn't follow him.
Well, you should.
You should have.
Dude, if you're a diehard, I'll friend you on Discord. Just hit me up.
If you're a diehard, I'll friend you. He wasn't a diehard.
Oh, well, tell that kid to
Yeah,
get
I was
back.
like, well, I kind of have this work Discord, and he's like, what's that? Okay, we didn't, honestly, the convo was not this long, but he was like, I was like, well, you gotta pay for it. He was like 7. Nah, he was like 9. I don't know. I can't guesstimate ages of kids
Tell his
anymore.
dad, log on to alldls.com/diehard.
If he was in a suite, his dad can afford it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No excuse.
So honestly, I should have had him bring his dad over. Then I would have explained the whole thing. Then we would have had another diehard. He could have shouted them out.
That's a missed opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. Are we back to? I think we're done with the diehard read.
Let's get you
Was that
ready.
story-
Anything to avoid talking about this game, honestly.
Wait, I can say some things.
Let me get to who's in and who's out, and then
Okay.
we'll let you cook.
I'm up after that.
Let you cook from there. By the way, this is the first of 3 matchups between the Mavericks and the Thunder on this season.
Just
2
3?
of which, only 3
Oh,
times this year.
okay.
2 of which will be in Oklahoma City, and the other meeting will be in Dallas. Of course, Oklahoma City won the season series last year, 3-1. The final game of that series, season series, the Mavericks punted on anyway because they didn't need to necessarily win that game to move up in the standings. But who's in and who's out tonight for the Thunder? Alex Caruso is out tonight. He's dealing with a right hip strain. Jalen Williams, that is Jaylin. He is out with a right hamstring strain. Isaiah Hartenstein continues to remain out, of course, with his fractured left hand. And Chet Holmgren continues to remain out, of course, with his unfortunate hip fracture. Dante Exum, of course, out with his right wrist injury. And Luka Doncic out with his right knee contusion. Otherwise, the Mavericks are healthy and good to go tonight, Tim.
Oh, by the way, that just reminded me when I gave you guys was it San Francisco or Denver? When I gave you guys an injury update, it was Golden State. It was San Francisco. I updated you guys on like Maxey and PJ scrimmaging against each other. Obviously, that meant they're very close to being back, and they're now back. Dante Exum was on the other side of the court practicing lefty layups.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's my one brief.
That
injury
makes me
update
feel
on
a
him.
little good.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was doing like little floaters. He was dribbling a lot with his left hand. So maybe he's going to shoot amphibious. Maybe he's going to be an amphibious shooter when he comes back. So I think that the size, I want to see the Dallas bigs be men. You know, I want to see them be big old boys down in the paint.
There you go, Tanner. You're welcome.
That's what they are. That's what they are. They're
Not Katya in the chat, though. Katya is like, oh, wow. Yep, that's right, Katya. That's the kind of time Tim is on tonight.
She doesn't know. No, by the delay, she wasn't reacting to that. Yeah, she was saying it to say something else.
I thought that was perfectly timed the way that she came.
No. So here's the thing. We talked about how Oklahoma City turns over anybody they play. And they're going to turn over Dallas. They're going to turn over Dallas a lot. This is very simple stuff that everybody knows. But turnovers means you don't get a shot in a possession. It shrinks the number of possessions that you get. And so let's just say that if all that happens in any possession is a shot or a turnover, then Dallas is going to have to be hyper efficient. And Oklahoma City is a very good shooting team. It's hard to outshoot the Thunder. So what do? You go get 20 offensive rebounds. You have the tallest players. You might have the 2 tallest players on the court at any given time when Maxi's in there. You will. They're not, J-Dub is, 6'6", plays big. Their tallest player outside of that is...
You're going to have the 3 tallest players on the court.
They're going to have the 3 tallest players a lot of the times. Oklahoma City plays big, and it's not just a given. You don't get gifted offensive rebounds just because you're tall. But this is the way to make up for the turnover disadvantage that you are almost certainly going to have against this team because of the way they play, because they have the most talented defensive hands in the league. You go get so many second chance points, and that reduces the need to be hyper efficient. You can be as efficient as them, and if you're getting 20 more shots, just like they're ending 20 of your possessions prematurely without a shot, that balances itself out. I think Dallas can win this game. I know Luka's not out there, but they don't have Caruso. Caruso was out there. If they had their full lineup of everybody but their bigs, I would feel not as good. And look, it's still likeliest on the second night of a back-to-back without Luka. It is likeliest that Oklahoma City, the best team in the league, is probably going to win this game. But there are very obvious paths for Dallas to make up some of the natural advantages that Oklahoma City has every time they come into an NBA game. And it starts with the center. It starts and ends with the centers. Some of it is also, like you said, Bobby, there is room for them to get some advantages right around the rim. Be very careful when you're doing that. But absolutely, they can get some cheap points or, no bucket in the NBA is cheap.
Just junk it up.
Yeah, they can get some big boy points in the paint. But I would like to see them prove how, just that they're larger, that they have this size advantage over the Thunder, because I think they can. And I think pretty much every path to Dallas winning starts there. It starts there in several different ways, but it starts there. After that, you're going to need some help from various other people on the court. I've got a little game.
Okay.
Who's going to be the second leading scorer? We're going to assume Kyrie is the first leading scorer on the Mavericks tonight.
Gafford.
You think it's Gafford?
Oh, man. That's tough.
I think it needs to be like Najee. I think it needs to be a Najee Marshall. I think it needs to be a 20-point game from him.
I'm gonna say Klay,
because I think
that'll be nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Klay.
I think Lively and Gafford combined have to be your second leading scorer. It has to go back to that thing where they have Wilt Chamberlain combined 48 minutes. That thing that we've talked about before. They combined need to go for 30 and 30 and 5 blocks. Something like that. But I don't know if individually either one, I think that you need some guard pop as well, and guard wing, whatever you want to call it. I think it comes from, I'll go Najee, you'll go Klay.
Just junk it up. I don't want people to pass. Last night they overpassed. They passed themselves into a lot of turnovers in the first half, which is cool, whatever. They're trying to share the ball. They were trying to have everybody touch the ball and make a lot of mixtape highlights and stuff, and that's great. But tonight you're going to pass, you're going to get it stolen. You're going to over dribble. You're going to get it stolen. I'm not judging the quality of the first shots in this game ever. It is, let's be as game plan specific as possible. Let's send 2 guys to the glass. Everybody else gets back. I'm trying to set the record for second chance points tonight. The Thunder score the 4th most fast break points. They allow the 4th fewest fast break points. This is not an open court game. This is a very slow, very junky, very garbage game.
Cat, don't take it personally. He does this to me too.
This is a garbage game. This is a junkyard bulldog.
Junkyard bulldog.
Yeah.
You might not like this because Jason Kidd says they want to play with some pace tonight. So
yeah, but
I don't like that.
In fairness, every single coach in the history of basketball has said that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just giving you what he had said during his pregame presser, that the idea of getting up and down is something that he would want to see a little bit tonight with Oklahoma City. I don't know how that plays well in terms of the style of play with OKC, with them going small, and how much you want to try to keep up with that. But if that is something that Jason Kidd is looking for, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But to Tim's point, I mean, Lively and Gafford, their abilities to have to stay on the floor, stay out of foul trouble so that they can use that size to their advantage, which is a clear one for them. As we mentioned, the Mavericks had 53 rebounds as a team against the Spurs last night. Gafford and Lively will have to be able to make sure that not just them, but everyone is crashing the boards and being able to continue to not only get second chance opportunities, but limit the Thunder to single possessions on the offensive end.
On defense, though, KG, if you're playing those big guys, they got to be ready to close out because, like, you got away kind of a little bit, sort of got away with putting your bigs on a shooter or on like a not very dynamic player throughout most of the playoffs last year. You go look at the OKC starting five and tell me who's the guy that can't shoot. Like, sometimes they started Aaron Wiggins. I guess you put a big on him and dare him to score 15, but like, if you're putting a big on Isaiah Joe or Dort, like those guys can shoot, and it's just
Dort can shoot. But
you're gonna either overcompensate and overclose out and get blown by, and then you have no rim protection, or you're not going to close out soon enough. Like Gafford and Lively have to be with it on defense if they want to be able to eat on offense.
I agree with that.
Other X factors for tonight's game, we mentioned a little bit earlier, Kyrie Irving carrying the offensive load for this team. Of course, had 36 and 12 in that March 14th matchup against Oklahoma City. Will probably need a similar performance for this team to be able to keep up with Oklahoma City offensively. And then the last one we've kind of touched on as well with P.J. Washington and Klay Thompson. P.J. Washington, of course, who had a great series last year against Oklahoma City. Bobby detailing how Oklahoma City was playing him to be able to have the kind of series that he did. Klay Thompson, of course, we know, of course, it was a long time ago, but at the same time, the vibes with Game 6 Klay against Oklahoma City, maybe he could channel some of that tonight. He's going to have to knock down shots to keep the Oklahoma City defense honest. And I guess I'm picking him to be the second leading scorer for this team because he's going to have to knock down shots along with some other guys to be able to keep up offensively in a lot of ways with Oklahoma City tonight.
It's got to look like I did this morning at Sunday morning pickup.
Oh, you was cooking this morning?
I really hope not.
I think I made like 2, maybe 3 threes.
Damn.
Where was the location of those threes?
Hit a game winner left wing.
Okay.
And hit a trailing pull up from the right wing. There's the 2 I remember. There might have been one more. I was getting layups. Don't worry. Like,
your layup package was good?
This was not like a 4-point outing for me. Like,
okay.
do not worry.
Okay.
I had plenty of layups.
Okay.
Had some good timely cuts.
All right.
I had one post finish over a smaller dude. They, you know.
You gave the too small. You gave the too small.
I mean, you have to. He was too small. He was literally too small. You know, just a little box out and turn finish over my over my left shoulder.
That U7 pickup game you play on Sunday mornings. You really dominate those.
He was teaching life lessons.
Okay. I was slightly biased, in fact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have to dox him because, like, you guys know he's tall. So
I don't know that he's tall.
He is.
Don't know anything about.
Well, he's not under 7.
Oh. No, he's definitely not. Yeah. By the way, real quick, outside of the Mavericks NBA note, did you see that the NBA ruled that Jason Tatum's game-winning shot was actually a travel?
No.
Yeah, the NBA announced that
a missed travel in the NBA.
Ben,
shot, dude.
Ben,
shocking, right?
The YMCA isn't open on Sundays. You know.
Let's throw out Ben's comment real quick.
That's not why, but
Timothy Cato is a YMCA baller.
I do play at the YMCA.
Do you accept that you're the YMCA baller on record here?
There's actually somebody who works for the YMCA who listens to our podcast because he recognized me. He knew who I was. He was like, "Oh, you've got a new podcast thing? I'm gonna check it out." And every time he comes in, he's like, "Y'all have the best MAVS podcast around. I love listening to it." Like genuinely.
Shout out,
yeah.
Shout out that
That's
guy.
what's up.
Yeah.
My favorite bit this season so far has been like people discovering where you actually are now, Tim.
I hope so too. He probably doesn't listen to the pregame show, but
versus where you have been. They're like, "Oh, you're with that? Oh, yeah. He's over there now. He's not with the other."
It's happened a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, well, should I dox where my Y is? It's the downtown Y. I don't care. Come hoop with me.
Well, hopefully the Mavericks are cooking like Tim was during his.
It's the name of it.
Rest in peace to T Boone.
Oh yeah, that's true. Sorry. Let's end this.
It is time for Mavericks basketball as the Dallas Mavericks visit the Oklahoma City Thunder. Bobby will participate in the postgame show. I'm just joking. Yeah. It's time for us to go. We appreciate all of y'all joining us here on the DLS MAVS pregame show. We'll be back here 15 minutes after the final buzzer between your Mavericks and the Thunder. We'll talk to y'all then. Y'all be good. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.